Yeah.
Have you seen any like I guess a multi-part question, like any like really crazy injuries where people have come to you? And I guess just kind of going off of that is like, have you tried to deal with like any injuries that you just weren't able to, I guess, essentially help them?
Yeah. That's always like an interesting question, because there definitely have been cases, and some of them have been, one of them in particular that I can think of is this guy came to us with low back pain, and he's been having low back pain for years and has tried so many different things, and he's almost like on the brink of getting surgery, but he was referred to us by a friend and wanted to try it out. So we went through the entire process with him, and one of the things we try to screen in the very beginning is red flags, of course, so things that we would potentially need to really refer you out for, but also something that I learned from some of my mentors that are called yellow flags. So a lot of yellow flags are like beliefs. So the way that they talk during your assessment, the way that they, like I mentioned before too, the relationship that they have with pain, the relationship that they have with their injury, you know, and all of these things I truly believe make like affect your progress and affect your journey. Because if you believe, right, if you believe that you're never going to get better, then you're naturally subconsciously going to take actions that are going to fall align with that belief.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly,
I
self-fulfilling
know
prophecy.
like
And then they get to the outcome and it doesn't work, and they're like, I knew it.
Yeah.
I just knew it wasn't going to work, right?
Confirmed
Yeah.
by your own behaviors.
Right.
Totally. And, you know, I've made mistakes as PTs of maybe not being as knowledgeable or doing things that I should have done better. But that's always like a learning experience to know moving forward, how do we communicate things better? How do we program a little bit better? How, like, I've pushed people before too far and then they've flared up. And then luckily they trust me enough to be like, oh, okay, well, let's just scale it back and then push it back forward, right? So I've been lucky enough that people have been able to almost like forgive me in a way, you know, and say, okay, yeah, let's just keep moving. And then we eventually get to the outcome, right? But all these are lessons. So with his situation, we got to like towards the end of the program and he was just like still throughout the entire process, it was like pulling teeth. Like I was trying to, one, get, like communication is important for us because we do everything virtually. So we need to make sure that you're telling us as much information as you can about the exercises. And like, I never heard from him. I had to reach out and say, how was your workout? And then he would dump a bunch of stuff about that workout. And I'm like, oh, if you told me, and I try to like tell him, communicating with him, like, hey, you need to give me like real time information so I can adjust stuff. But it was one of those things where as much as I can do to help, it's difficult to help somebody that is like in a pattern themselves that is like, maybe it's out of my scope to help. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got to the end, and then he did see progress, but it wasn't what he wanted. So ended up resorting to just getting surgery. And I tried really hard, and I'm like, you know, trying to take lessons from that of like, what did I do that may have potentially caused him to not get the result that he wanted? But then also understanding that people are going through their own things that maybe I will never be able to change.
Yeah. If you think about it, because like, well, I guess two points. It's like this. It's like it seems like a very two-way communication sort of street. Like in the same way that like maybe you might like push a client too hard. They also should be like communicating with you how, because like the whole thing is working on this thing of like communicating back and forth, like how does this pain feel, like what is that doing, like the whole thing like hinges on that. And then also I guess like maybe there's people who are just like just see you as like another medical provider. It's like, oh, they're just giving me this PT thing or whatever. I don't know if that was the case here, but like,
and then also maybe
that could be going on.
A bit of fear of challenging a physical therapist. So we always try to come from a place that's relatable, that's like, hey, if something's up, like if you have a concern or if something's not feeling right, you have to just tell us. Don't be scared to say something because you're scared like, oh, I don't want to mess up the thing, or I don't want to challenge. Like, it's like, we don't, like, my goal is to help you. Like, you need to tell me, right? I'm not this high and mighty, like, what is it, the white coat syndrome, doctor, physical therapy. Like, sure, I have a doctorate, but like we're on a team. Like I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
So that's why we like our team is so. We try to just be normal people. I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel like some
doctory.
Yeah, some DPTs and doctors. Like I definitely had some classmates who were very like, oh, I'm a doctor and stuff, and I just never felt that vibe. I was always like, I don't know, I'm just here to help people, and I went to school for it and stuff, which is cool. But we really try not to put that superiority type of complex on our clients, so they know that they can come to us with like as honest and as transparent as possible.
Yeah, it's we've said this on the podcast before, but like having that open feedback loop is so important. Huge. Not just from physical therapy standpoint or a strength training standpoint, from a coaching jiu-jitsu standpoint, like just anywhere there's a coach athlete relationship in some way, that feedback loop is really, really important. So it's good that you value that.
And Josh said, you mentioned that the second part, which some people will just be like, oh, you're just another PT, or just another healthcare provider. I don't know if you're actually trying to help me and stuff. So that's a challenge we have for sure. It's constantly an uphill battle of proving to them that physical therapists are not just useless, So it's something that we're definitely working towards, but we try really, really hard to make sure that people feel their results and make sure that we're trying to provide as much value to them, and we really care about them. And then little by little, you see people, oh, this person actually cares about my outcomes, cares about my success, cares about me going back to training. Okay, cool. Then maybe I can bring down my walls, actually listen, and then we kind of work together.
So I think so much of that is just like building community.
Totally.
And like building relationships. All of this is like, just if you truly care about the person in front of you and you make an effort to learn about them and their lives, and like you said, like where they're coming from their mindset and all of that stuff, and you ask those questions, you ask them mindfully, I think that makes for more positive results than negative ones, because you're gonna get you're just gonna get people who engage in that feedback loop and give you more, and then you can give them more, and it just kind of builds up and up and up. So
totally
good job.
Thanks. You too. You too.
Do you have any really crazy injuries you've seen?
I think in terms of seeing live, like I've worked, it's because I work the jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff too, here and there, whenever I have time. So I'll be at Master Worlds, but there was one year, I think it was 2019 at Master Worlds. This guy, he got caught in a kimura and rolled the wrong way.
No.
And his shoulder just popped out. And I was like right Matt's side. And this guy was from France, so he only spoke French. And he was screaming in French. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but it doesn't look fun, right? So I obviously saw his shoulder was dislocated. And I was like, we were taught to relocate as quickly as possible to minimize the damage of tissue surrounding, so like the blood vessels and nerves and all that. So it was a huge tournament, and we are always kind of spread pretty thin. So I was like Matt's side, I was looking around, where my supervisor, and I was like, oh shoot, she's not here, I gotta do it. So I ran onto the mat. Obviously there's people standing at the barriers like screaming and stuff, and I'm like sweating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I'm just so nervous. I'm like shaking. So I grab his like his lapel, and I hand it to him. I just told him to bite down. And he looked at me. He was like, he bit down. I stuck my knee in his armpit, and then I just tractioned his shoulder while pushing out. Yeah. And it just went boop and popped back in. And then I saw his face go from to. He looked at me, and it just went. He gave me the thumbs up, and then I was just like,
holy shit.
And then obviously the match was already over because he tapped from screaming. He got up, and then I just had him go to the medical area. We taped up his shoulder, and then found his coach, and then just told him like, you should probably go to this urgent care, get an x-ray, because screen all these things. But that was probably, and then the same day, like a couple hours later, this guy like dislocated his toe, and I relocated a toe.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why
So,
toe sounds
Yeah.
so much more disgusting.
yeah,
than
it
a
was pretty
shoulder.
gnarly. I
Oh.
was sweating and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sweaty after that. But it was a really, really cool experience on my end, not on his end.
Yeah.
But relocating that shoulder was wild. And then like my supervisor came, was like, good job. I saw you from like, because she was like treating another injury, like
Yeah.
6 mats down. She was like, I saw you. That was great. And then I was like,
That's so funny.
hyperventilating.
Oh my goodness.
That was wild.
I have a Masterworld's French story as well. It's not an injury story, but
It's really random.
not many people know this, but I speak French fluently.
Oh,
and so
cool.
I was watching one of my athletes compete, and the guy who was going in the finals was from, I think he was from Morocco or Algeria or some North African country that speaks French, and his coach was
I
there.
remember this.
And his coach is coaching him the whole time in French, and I just like picking it apart. I'm like, Pete, he's gonna do this.
Oh my god.
The whole time you can hear on the video, I'm like, Pete, don't let him do that. He's
Oh
gonna
my
try
God.
this. He's gonna try that. And they see his coach is getting so frustrated because I'm just like, dude, I know everything you're saying. And I'm gonna tell him everything that you want him to do.
That's actually really cool. Hidden skill.
Oh man,
That's genius.
what a time.
That's
Yeah.
genius.
What a time.
That was probably the worst injury that I've seen. We've seen a bunch of like shoulder popping out, and then we have to like relocate them. But that was like personally, like in the moment, I had to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were going through, when you were in school, did you have to watch surgery and stuff?
Yeah, so when I was an athletic training student,
Uh-huh.
we had a rotation that was just called Gen Med.
Okay.
And then a part of that rotation, we were able to go in and watch surgeries. I was just actually talking to my friends about the surgeries that I watched. But I watched the ACL reconstruction,
Yep.
a full ACL reconstruction with a patellar graft.
Yeah. Okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
Like the doctor actually went in there, cut it out, had to like make the
Yeah.
ACL, drill the holes, stick it in, and then like re-drill, tighten it up, and then like do the
Yeah.
rest of it. But then I also watched a total hip replacement.
Whoa, hips are crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, they're so aggressive. Like
I'm
you think it's just they're so gentle, but they're so aggressive.
Yeah.
In there with hammers and stuff, and it's like bink,
Yeah.
bink, and I'm standing there like a student, like, oh my, what is going on? You know?
Yeah.
That creeps me out
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
they're
Yeah.
so aggressive. And then like I remember this doctor, we're like in there, I'm like scrubbed up and I'm like standing on the side, and they're like, oh yeah, you can stand a little closer watching. This doctor comes in, he's like, hey, how was Coachella? Like they're like talking about going to Coachella the weekend before. He's like, oh man, it was so crazy. Yeah, my favorite DJ was this and that. And they started playing like this like EDM
Yeah.
music, and I was just like, where am I? This is actually what an OR is like.
Yeah.
It's not like Grey's Anatomy. Beep,
Yeah.
beep, silence,
Yeah.
and it's like so dramatic. It's not. They're like, how was Coachella?
Yeah. I had
don't
similar
like this.
experience. I had a similar experience. Like I've watched several surgeries at this point.
Yeah.
I most
Wild.
recently watched one of my athletes. She had to have her knee done.
Mm-hmm.
She had meniscus tear, and her ACL had torn away from the joint capsule.
Wow.
And so her ACL itself was intact, but it just wasn't attached to where it was supposed to be attached. And this surgeon told me, he was like, this is like the 4th or 5th jiu-jitsu person I've seen with this exact injury. And I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. And so anyways, seeing that, but also very similar, like they're like bumping the music. One time they made me change the music, and I was like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you like want me to change the music? Like, but yeah, they're like bouncing around and like kind of talking or whatever. And yes, also like surprisingly aggressive with like, I mean, obviously they're very well trained and I'm sure they're doing it for a reason, but like the human body is really resilient and probably needs that much force in order to like get things where they're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I saw somebody hammer a giant syringe into somebody's shin bone to extract bone marrow, I was like, what the fuck?
I want
Like-
to throw up.
They just like so nonchalantly like talking, blah blah blah, how was your weekend, boom, and just like hit the thing. I was like, oh, what? Like that doesn't go there.
That's not right.
What
Is anybody else freaking out?
one of the nurses was like, do you need a chair? And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like I'm pretty good with blood. It's like okay. And she was like, are you sure? Everybody says that and then they need a chair. And I was like, no, like for the record, I've never needed a chair. I've stood the whole time and I've never passed out. But sometimes I've been like, are you sure that goes there?
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you the other experience I had that was really like fucking Looney Tunes was I saw MCL. It was a full, like an open MCL reconstruction. And I saw that surgeon's hand go all the way underneath the skin, like in there, because he had to pull it down to find it. So like he went in, his hand was like underneath the thigh skin, and his fingers are moving around in there. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, does anybody else see this?
That's
like,
not right.
That's not where
That's
hands
not
go.
right.
Hands don't go in there. Please don't do that. But then he found the MCL. He pulled it down. He was like, look, here's the MCL. And
Whoa,
they like sewed it up or whatever. It
that's
was gnarly.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool experience,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. I think I've seen like 8 surgeries at this point, and
That's cool.
it's been so eye opening, and I absolutely love doing it because it's, you know, I'm getting the info like straight from the source. I'm like, what do I need to do to keep people out of here?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, here's what you do. Like, all right, good to know we're on the right track. But that particular surgeon and his whole group have been so accommodating and so nice for like opening up their OR to me and like helping me learn more about like the inner workings of knees and elbows and shoulders and stuff, which are the 3 body parts that I've seen opened up at this point.
Yeah, that's really cool. When we were in PT school, we didn't really observe like live surgeries, but we did have cadavers
That's trippy.
in our anatomy class.
That's
so
trippy.
People.
Sometimes I think back to that time and I'm like, that was not normal. Like it's like just we had
Yeah,
the UC Davis's medical program, their medical school, they donate bodies to our school to be able to have like from skin to organs dissections.
Whoa.
So first day, I just remember going in there, and before we walked into the room, I was like, I had to take a deep breath. I was like, and my classmates are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, is this gonna be, this is gonna be a really, really surreal experience. So we went down there, and then I just remember they had the faces covered, but the bodies were open, and you just skin to bone. We're just going all the way down, cut everything, cut the fat out.
No.
It was wild, yeah. And then for our all of our practicals, our professors would go in there and just like tag things. So you needed to pay attention during the dissections. And you need to see, oh, this is like the part of the hamstring muscle, this is the part of like the specific joint, and all these things, and little like bony landmarks and all. You go in there, you just have pen and paper, and then you just go around, write it, go around, write it. And then watching you while you're identifying all these muscles, bones.
Whoa.
And then we even like opened up the brain and the eye at the very end. But it was a trippy time. I'm like, you just almost get used to it.
Yeah.
In the beginning it was nasty. It was kind of gross. But then it was like, got to the point where like, we would dissect for like 2 hours, be like, oh, where are we going for lunch? You know? It's like, whoa, wait a minute. This is not normal.
Yeah,
like, why
yeah,
are we doing this? And then thinking about food. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
And that's how you get to the Coachella conversation.
And
Yeah, yeah.
that's how you get to the
Operating.
Coachella
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, 'cause
You
they've
just
just
get
seen
so
it.
used to it.
Yeah, they're just like over it.
You've
Yeah.
seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've thus since been desensitized to watching the scalpel like literally just open things up, and yeah, as soon as they hit it, they're just like, "How was your weekend?"
yeah, exactly. So
okay.
used to it.
Yeah, and I no longer think to myself, is anybody else seeing this? Are they supposed to be?
They're like, yeah, we've seen like
yeah,
30
yeah,
today.
yeah. Like, really? Oh, very cool.
Hot
You wanna go
takes. Hot takes.
All right.
Hot
takes.
takes. Oh man, here we go.
Okay, so the way hot takes works is we're gonna give you a topic, and you've got 20 seconds to give us your hot take on it.
Okay.
And Josh will man the.
I am the buzzer.
He's the buzzer.
I will say start, and then 20 seconds, and I'll say stop.
Okay. So much pressure.
Yeah. I think we should stay in the theme that we were with Christina.
Same exact ones.
Same exact ones.
Okay.
For
Are you
the most part.
prepared mentally? I mean, we were just talking about cadavers, so I think
You're good. Yeah.
I'm in a different land right now in my mind.
yeah.
I'm like looking through those memories, like, dang, that was a time.
Trauma.
I know.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hot takes. Hot takes. Hot takes.
I think.
All right,
All
this
right.
was a weird one to ask, but I'm
Is
gonna ask
this
it.
the
Alright.
same one that you asked?
Same one?
Same one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
All right. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh God.
CJI, ADCC, IBJJF.
Go.
Kill IBJJF. Fuck CJI, marry ADCC.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is an interesting one. You got 10 more seconds if you want to elaborate.
Well, CJI is like the hot new thing. ADCC, I feel like, is like the Olympics and longevity, and then IBJJF just causes too many problems.
Interesting.
All right,
So you
this
would
is-
marry ADCC.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay. I had it swapped. I had the same CJI,
Yeah.
right, hot new thing, and then kill ADCC, marry IBJJF.
Yeah.
We established that Josh has Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just a toxic relationship.
Toxic relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like IBJJF has. I just hear too many things, and I've worked in that environment. There's a lot of people that are really cool there, but I know as an organization, there's like a lot of things that could be fixed, and that have not been fixed. And you're like,
Yeah, I've heard that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need that toxicity.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
I was just gonna say, I feel like my mind might have been changed.
No, let's go.
Wow.
Wow.
Because ADC. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. We'll move on to the next hot take.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Yes.
Gabby Garcia versus Craig Jones.
Go.
Oh my god. Okay, I think Craig, but I think it's gonna be hilarious in terms of how it's gonna go down. I think Craig's gonna win. I mean, Craig's just superior in a lot of things, and he has a lot of bullshit submissions. I think he's just gonna try. He's just gonna try a bunch of shit.
How do you think he gets her?
I can't even tell you.
Fair.
And,
Fair assessment.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out on a limb here on this next one.
Uh-oh.
Alright.
Mackenzie Dern's accent.
Go.
Oh, you know, I've had this conversation with friends before. I think part of it is real. Like, I actually don't think she's faking it. And the only reason why is because I think she's just been, for a really long period of time, she was in that environment. Then maybe she didn't really speak English that much, and she only spoke Portuguese, and she was in that, like, with her husband, her ex-husband and dad and stuff. But I think part of it is real.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Totally non-committal.
Yeah, totally not. I actually don't have like a big opinion about that, because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very specific thing to have a strong opinion.
Yeah,
about.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. The Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet.
Whenever
Yeah, you know, like
promoted,
you
like
get
a
promoted,
belt
people like whip you with their
promotion.
belts and stuff.
Oh, the
or for
Gauntlet.
birthdays or for
Gauntlet.
any other number of potential
And
celebrations. Go.
I think I wouldn't like that, so I would say no. But I think it's like tradition. If it's fun for your gym, then do whatever you want to do. I'm a very much like, if you want to do it, then do it. It doesn't affect me. I don't really care. But if it's me that's getting promoted, I'd probably be like, please don't do that. Just throw me. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool.
Yeah.
20 on the dot. Good job. Elon versus Zuck.
Go.
Oh, I think Zuck. I feel like Zuck is more invested in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And word on the street is he's a potential investor in CJI.
That's what I-
That's my theory. too.
So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he is much more invested. He's younger
Mhm.
and he's more fit. So I think Zuck.
Yeah.
I think Elon's got the size on him though. I don't know. That's
But
what
then-
I always bring that up. I feel like Elon could just like.
Yeah.
But I feel like Zuck is
he
more
could big
serious
man
about
him.
jiu-jitsu.
I think so too.
So
I mean, you
that
don't go
that
train
makes a
with-
difference.
That's true.
You don't
Right.
train with Mikey if you're not serious.
Dude, literally. Yeah.
That's true, but like I feel like the threshold for like the skill to overcome. I actually don't know how big Elon Musk is, but I feel like people say, right, technique conquers all, right? Which is true only if there's a significantly big enough skill gap. So I feel like
Yeah,
spazzy Elon Musk,
Oh yeah.
right?
Could be a huge problem.
Could
Totally.
be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Very
Literally
unpredictable.
and figuratively,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's those spazzy white belts that you just don't know.
Exactly.
You're
yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
did they cause me so many problems?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
So Zuck would have to have a lot of skill to overcome that. Is all I'm saying. Maybe
Yeah.
he does, but
Do you think that is the match that Craig's he alluded to on Joe Rogan? He made Joe cut it out.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't.
shit.
I feel like that's a stretch.
Okay.
But someone mentioned, maybe on Reddit, maybe I was scouring Reddit one day trying to get answers to things, But someone said Marcelo Garcia.
Whoa.
Oh, that would be.
Someone mentioned he might be
Whoa.
coming out of retirement.
Whoa.
And-
that
but
would
then-
be something that Joe would cut out of his podcast.
But
was
another
sick.
thing is
Yeah.
like because Marcelo recently just got back from his
Yeah.
cancer treatment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, is he in a place where he's can do something like that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that would be wild.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
that would change a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
are you guys going to ADCC?
No.
No.
Oh,
No. I will be
I'm not
watching
making that
CJI.
mistake
Yeah.
again.
I am fully invested, and by fully invested, I mean I'm gonna watch it for free on YouTube because he's putting it on there.
that's exactly what Craig would want from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am just fulfilling his prophecy.
Yeah, his dream
Yeah,
is
his
for
dream is
everyone
for-
to just watch it free on YouTube and
Yep.
just have millions of
Yep.
viewers at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I-
people from ADCC.
I
which is me.
truly. Are you gonna be like watching
go to
CJI from
ADCC.
the stands? at
Yeah, we
ADCC?
bought ADCC tickets like last year, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
we're gonna
like-
go, but I think I'm gonna be definitely watching it.
I almost pulled the trigger, and I'm so glad that I didn't now because I would be watching CJI from the stands.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing. We're getting off of hot takes right now. We're still in hot takes. Don't worry about it. I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I think
Like,
it's genius.
yeah. He's
I'm happy that the athletes are getting paid.
yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing is if you're doing this and you're dedicating your life and your efforts and your time to it, like you should get paid.
Yeah.
Well, you should get paid. It shouldn't be
Right.
feel like you're like getting shortchanged or showing up doing nothing. You know,
Right.
especially if you're a professional athlete. You
Yeah.
know, I understand that it disrupts things, but that's the purpose.
Yeah. Exactly.
It
So-
had to happen like
Had
that,
to.
right? 'Cause
Like
it's
it's-
a free market, right?
Right.
You have
Some people are mad that you're making like now the ADCC brackets are not going to be as good. Like that's the point.
to, exactly.
Like
That is the point.
that's literally the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So I like it too, and I think I'm always here for a little bit of tea. I
Yeah.
love a little tea. I love a little drama, as long as it doesn't affect me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like on the outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's going on? Yeah, and they were announcing some of the actual like MCs and announcers,
Uh-huh.
and it's like what's his name? But they're all like these big dudes, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is gonna be awesome. And the
gonna be
Rotolo
legit.
brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
huge.
holy.
That was a huge
shit.
blow. Speaking of the Rotolo brothers, did you see somebody dubbed? It was from Inglourious Bastards, the Hitler, the Hitler scene,
The Hitler scene.
where the SS generals are like explaining to him
Yeah.
how the Inglourious Bastards are like taking over, and they're like getting the Germans in all these spots, and Hitler's having to like sit there and listen to this debrief.
Yeah.
But somebody like took the subtitles out and put like he's like, at least we have the Rotolo brothers still. Just Mo. Hitler is Mo.
Yeah.
And and they're like, the Rotolo brothers just signed with CJ.
I love
So
that.
upset.
That's so.
Craig's
funny.
just in the comments. He's like, thank you, whoever made this piece of art.
Yeah. Craig is having the time of his
Yeah.
life right
Oh, this
now.
is
Just
his
watching
moment.
everybody
Yeah.
like so defensive, angry and stuff, and he's just sitting back like, yep.
Yep.
Exactly. This is exactly what I wanted from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
The reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody got really mad.
It's fun
100%.
times right now. It's
So
fun
fun.
times. The internet.
So fun.
So
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Last hot take.
Oh, we're still in it.
We're still in it. Last hot take. Fionn Davies versus Mackenzie Dern. Who wins?
Fionn.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was quick.
was
Yeah. I thought about this
0.56,
before. I
Okay.
think Fionn is just more well-rounded. I think Mackenzie, because she's been in MMA, like it's not like her jiu-jitsu is bad. She's obviously like Megatron's her dad, but like I just feel like Fionn's more dominant. She's on a
Shantae.
streak, and
Yeah.
I think she takes it.
I am inclined to agree. However, I was talking to Christina when we were downstairs, and I wish I had asked her this on camera.
Yeah.
I asked her about that, and she said she wasn't sure, but she does think about when she was competing against Mackenzie. When Christina was like in her 20s, Mackenzie was like 16.
Okay.
She was like, Mackenzie is closer to Fionn Davies' age than she is to mine, and that's something that she thought was an interesting caveat to the whole thing. It's like she's actually like Fionn's age, and it's not like this big like age gap or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like she was winning all those titles when she was a child, basically.
Yeah.
Like she was 18 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old when she was winning. Like they didn't have the juvenile bracket or whatever at that time.
So she was
So
competing, in
against
adults.
adults. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think Fionn is like squarely in her prime, and it
Yeah.
would be very difficult to beat her.
I'm a big Fionn fan too.
Yeah.
So she's one of my favorite
Yeah,
female
yeah.
grapplers for sure.
Especially after the whole knee cut thing.
Yeah, I know that was awesome.
Yeah, I
Simple knee
love that.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Basic bitch-
love
What
that.
was it? Basic bitch knee cut.
Yeah.
It was just a basic knee cut.
Basic
Yeah.
knee cut.
Basic knee
Yeah,
cut.
yeah,
That who was
And
it?
then
that
she,
was talking
it
smack?
was Jasmine Roche.
Yeah,
Roche,
yeah.
Wagner's.
Yeah,
daughter?
Wagner's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's coming up too, but it was just funny that like she said that and then Fionn just hit her immediately with
Yep.
the Nika, and then came
Just
out with an
spammed it.
instructional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
Beautiful.
that is
Beautiful.
Yeah.
that's it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. Let's wrap it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
where can people find you if they have questions? Where do you want people to go? Is there anything that you want the listeners to know about you?
Yeah. Open mat physio everywhere on the internet. So just type in open mat physio, you'll probably find us.
All right.
Nothing else. Yeah. Just thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys. I know we've been planning this for a little while.
Several months.
Several months
This
made
was
it happen.
yeah.
You know.
Thanks
but
for coming. Thanks for
yeah, I
training
really,
this morning.
Yeah.
Thanks
Oh
for
yeah.
talking
I
to
really
us. Yeah.
appreciate that. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
All right. Thanks for listening to another episode, everyone. If you enjoy this podcast, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us at Thanks for the Roll on Instagram and TikTok. Give us 5 stars and write us a review wherever you listen. And share this episode with someone you think would benefit from it. See you next time. Thanks for the roll.
Thanks for the roll.
Thanks for the roll.
She got it.
Let's go.